Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Honourable Member, I understand the next financial review that members wish to debate in chamber today is the financial review of the Department of Corrections. So will members please turn to the Law and Order Committee's report. And the question before the House is that the Law and Order Committee on the 2010-2011 financial review of the Department of Corrections be noted. Would some honourable member like to seek the call?
Well, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I have to call a member. I call the Honourable Minister Anne Tolley.
Well, Mr. Chairman, can I take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Corrections for a really outstanding year's performance. And if we go through a few of the notable achievements, I think the House will see that there has been a huge amount of work and they deserve the congratulations. So participation in drug treatment and rehabilitation increased dramatically in that year with the opening of new facilities and the implementation of a new shorter program. As a result, they had the highest recorded number of prisoners participate in drug and alcohol rehabilitation courses, and I think that's an area that this government is really focusing on and are looking to grow, because we know that that is one of the most significant impediments to those offenders when they go back out into the community, and one of the most significant behavioural addictions that they have to deal with, and that's seeing them reoffend and come back into our prisons. We saw the implementation or the start of 2 whare oranga aki. Now that's with the work of the Associate Minister of Corrections, the Honourable Dr. Peter Sharples, and they were established in this financial year, and they are particularly focused on Māori prisoners, of course make up too high a number of our prisoners, partnering with local service providers. And the early results of this, and I stress it is very early days, are very encouraging, and the majority of prisoners that have left those whare have been gainfully employed in the community and remain gainfully employed, and so we are continuing to support them closely. The escape figures were at an all-time low in this particular year, with only 4 escapes, 2 breakouts and 2 from an escort, and that compares with 9 in the previous year. The random drug tests are at an all-time low for those random drug tests. Now that shows, and it's been interesting to watch the opposition climbing into the sort of figures that corrections, the numbers of people that corrections are actually finding trying to enter prisons with contraband, and the opposition have actually been criticising corrections for that. I say all power to them. I think it's fantastic that they are stopping so many people trying to bring contraband into our prisons, and they're to be congratulated. The other thing that we need to look very closely at is the smoke-free environment that was instituted throughout corrections, and that's followed a long planning period. 5,500 prisoners supported to give up smoking. 5,500 prisoners. That is outstanding work from this department over this year. 79% reduction in fires. There's lots of pluses in addition to the personal health of prisoners. And at the same time, we've seen an enormous change program through the probation services. And we know when we came to government that the probation services were in a pretty awful state. The previous government had lost the plot, and we had some awful risks being taken with our prisoners out in communities, which resulted in lives being lost. And so the department have gone through an enormous change program. The old manual that seemed to grow and grow year on year, every time something went wrong there'd be another set of rules added, which really constrained the probation service to having to act in accordance to a whole manual of rules. Okay, so the systems have been put into place now that have some mandatory standards, but allow those highly trained people who are working with offenders on a day-to-day basis to use their initiative and to be able to make judgment calls on how to manage some of these people that they are responsible for out in the community. So, Mr. Chairman, an outstanding year's work, and that was reflected, I think, by the conversation in the Select Committee when the corrections appeared before them. The big decision, of course, is around the private-public partnership at Wiri, and the government has now made that decision, which is a unique contract that focuses not on building prisons, but on getting great results for non-reoffending of prisoners.
The question is that the report of the Law and Order Committee on the 2010-2011 financial review of the Department of Corrections be noted. Those of that opinion will please say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, I understand that the next financial review that members wish to debate is the financial review of the New Zealand Police.